Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Financial Fitness Road to Retirement. My name is Debbie Friedman. I am Assistant Commissioner for Workforce Engagement and Innovation at the Mayor's Office of Labor Relations. We can go to the next slide. And then, see, that's me. Okay, we can go to the slide after that. So welcome. At today's webinar, you will have the opportunity to learn about the steps leading up to retirement, starting with how do you plan for retirement, wherever you are in your life stage. And we have an expert from the New York City Department of Finance, Department for the Aged. Next, we will move on to joining the retirement system and what that process of working through the pension system is like. And we have a representative from the largest retirement system in the city of New York. We recognize there are many different retirement systems, and you could learn more about your particular one through your agency. But much of the information we'll be sharing today is relevant regardless of which system you're a part of. Our next step will be financial planning. We've already had some questions in the chat about what kind of additional personal financial planning do I need to implement in addition to what I would be offered from the city. And we have a wonderful deferred compensation vehicle that you'll hear more about. And then we'll talk about health benefits in retirement. Again, I saw there were some questions in the chat about that. Finally, you'll hear from one of our best practice agencies, where you'll hear again from the Department for the Aged, DFTA. We'll talk about how they support their employees through this retirement process. And then finally, we'll wrap up with question and answers from you. I want to remind you all to please use the chat or the Q&A feature to put your questions down, and somebody is monitoring the chat and we'll be able to answer as we go along, as well as aggregate the questions and be asking them at the end. In addition, this webinar, the recorded version, the slides, as well as all of the links will be available and sent to you via email in the next couple of days. So you don't have to feverishly write everything down. You will be getting it in your email that you registered with. So with that, I want to, next slide. I want to tell you a little bit about WorkWell in case you are unfamiliar. WorkWell is the worksite wellness program for all City of New York employees. We recognize that City of New York employees spend our days working to support New Yorkers. And so we're here to support you. We recognize that we often are so busy caring for others, we don't take care of ourselves. And so we have 4 main areas of work that we support our employees in. One is our physical activity, Move More, and you'll hear more about our September walking challenge coming up soon. Our healthy eating through Eat Well, our primary care and prevention program through Take Action, and finally, our mental well-being and resilience program, Be Well, Thrive, which is part of Thrive NYC. And this program is brought to you through that today. So before we get started, we want to find out a little something about who's in our audience. So we're going to start with a poll. If you can just use your, whatever device you're using to answer the following question. Ready? How long have you been working for the City of New York? 0 to 4 years, 5 to 9, 10 to 20, or 20 plus years? Thank you. Survey says, okay, so we have almost 50% of the people are 20 plus, so you're looking, you're almost touching retirement, but when a good snapshot across. All right, next question. Are you a member of NYSERS or another pension system that you're eligible for? Yes or no? Okay. All right, terrific. 96% are members of your retirement system, and 4% I expect will be convinced by the end of this session. So it's now my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, who will help us begin thinking about the process of retirement. Toby?
Thank you, Deb, and thank you to WorkWell and Thrive for inviting me and allowing me to speak today. So when you think about, can we go to the next slide, please? So when most of us think about retirement, we think and we worry about our finances, like questions like, will I have enough money to live on, become front and center. And much about what you'll hear today, you'll definitely learn that. And that's what a large portion of the webinar will focus on. However, I need you to think about another very important part of retirement, and that's related to how we socially and emotionally approach retirement. Previous generations had much shorter lifespans, thus they spent a lot less time in retirement. Now we can anticipate spending anywhere from 20 to 40 years in retirement. So it's very important to think how you're going to approach that part of your life. Some of us will continue to work, some of us will not, and some of us may be in between, maybe working part-time, having new careers. So for many of us, retirement will be having mixed periods of work and mixed periods of leisure. Next slide, please. So when we think about what comes next, there are different emotional stages that are attached to retirement. And for today's session, I'm going to focus mostly on the phases that occur a little bit closer to the retirement part: liberation, reorientation, and reconciliation. In the early emotional phases of retirement, one begins to think about the lifestyle we envision for ourselves. Then we get to the point of liberation. That's retirement day and the year following. It's that last day of work that leads to the first day of retirement. And there's usually euphoria associated with this phase. Unfortunately, that tends to last only about 1 year. We call it the honeymoon phase. You get up and you're on a honeymoon. I don't have to get up early. I don't have to get dressed. I can do whatever I want, whenever, but that doesn't last. Then about 2 to 15 years after retirement, we call it the reorientation phase. You know, we're still happy there's no alarm and no commute to work and no formal clothing, but then it begins with, now what? So it's not uncommon for people to have a sense of feeling let down. Not everybody, but very many people will start to feel emotionally detached in what happens next. About 16 years and later, we call it reconciliation. It's where you finally accept being retired and you're in a pattern of what you're enjoying doing. Next slide. So as we start to approach retirement and we start with that honeymoon phase, it's really important to think about questions like, who am I now? You know, we need to think this through. Most of us tie much of who we are and what we do every day into our work lives. And we may start to struggle with our sense of identity, of who we are without work, without that identity of going in and being somebody's boss or supervisor or employee. So now, right now, before you retire, is the time to start asking yourself these very important questions. That will help you with your social and emotional planning. Money matters, but it's not, retirement is not all about money. Next slide. Really very important to think about how you're going to flourish in your retirement. And I want you to keep this in mind. We call it PERMA. And this is really about positive approaches to any part of your life, but really makes sense in retirement. We think about our positive emotions. Ask yourself, what do I value? What makes it happy? How do I build on those positive emotions? Because that will be a buffer against the negative. Try and find gratitude in everything that you do. Being engaged, staying connected. How are you going to use your time each day? Current interests, new talents. What are you going to cultivate? You can't change the number of hours in a day, but you definitely can change how you use your time. Think about your relationships. We know that it is so important to be connected to others. That's what work does for us often, is it allows us to be connected to others. And without work, what relationships are you going to build? How are you going to stay connected to people? It's really an important part of physical health as well as emotional health. How are you going to create passion and purpose and meaning so that you're thriving in your retirement years and not just surviving? What is it that you want to accomplish? You know, we always have tasks at work to accomplish each and every day. Just because you're retired does not mean you should stop having goals, something to do. Make a plan of things you want to achieve. Next slide. Many workers today anticipate having multiple careers throughout their lives, and that may include periodic education or retraining. Work can improve your emotional well-being, your physical health by staying active, and that social integration. I want you to think about the new opportunities that await you. What will they involve? Are they going to be second careers, leisure, creativity, travel, new skills? What's there for you? Think about it now. And as you go through the next pieces, you'll think about how important money is, but so are these. Next slide. So what I want to wrap up by saying is to think about retirement as a gift that you continually give yourself and that you continually reopen the box to find something new inside. Think about your finances, but think about how you're going to manage this emotional part of your retirement. And with that, I'm going to turn it over and turn it back to Deb.
Thanks, Toby. Next slide. So one of the things we want to do is get a sense from you of what are the key takeaways you've taken from each of our sections. So we are going to do another poll. So we can bring that up. Please select the takeaway that is of most interest and relevance to you. A, retirement starts many years before actually retiring. B, it is important to think about what am I retiring to? Or C, flourishing in retirement includes positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishments. Thank you. Survey says, all right. Thanks so much. Our next presenter that many of you are asking questions about is Frank Brown from the New York City Employees Retirement System. Frank?
Thank you, Deborah. Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Frank. I'll be giving this portion of this presentation, and I'm excited to be here with everyone. So we'll move on to the next slide and I can get started. A little bit about NYCERS before we talk about some of the items about pension retirement. NYCERS was established in the year 1980. NYCERS, we are the largest public retirement system within the country, like Deborah stated earlier. We've been providing retirement benefits to New York City employees well before Social Security was ever established. It's a defined benefit plan. How much money, we'll talk about it in a few moments. How much money you get at retirement is based on a formula, and the key factors are based on total service credit and your final salary. So we'll move on to the next slide. A little bit more about NYCERS and funding. Members contribute. For Tier 4 members, you contribute up until a certain point, depending on your pension plan. For Tier 6 members, you contribute contributions from the day you join NYCERS until the day you leave city service. And we'll talk about that in a few moments. NYCERS, we also utilize employer contributions and earnings from investment funds to pay out pension benefits to members, retirees, and beneficiaries. The New York City Comptroller's Office is the custodian of these funds, and NYCERS has a board of trustees that sets investment policies. Next slide. All right, so when Deborah sent out the poll earlier, I was crossing my fingers and I was hoping that it was 100% for retirement members, but that's okay. So we have a few individuals that are here with us today that are not members of NYCERS. And so no need to worry if you are interested, and hopefully you are. Pensions are a big benefit, a huge benefit, public employment. If you are not a member of NYCERS, I would suggest that you apply for membership. We have a brochure that will be available in the resource guide from Deborah and her team, as well as on our NYCERS website at nycers.org. The top 10 reasons to join NYCERS, brochure number 721, that lays the reasons why you'd want to become a member of NYCERS if you haven't done so. Once you are ready to establish your NYCERS membership, you can do on our website. You can submit a membership application electronically. It's very simple, very easy. So that is there for those individuals. Once you establish your NYSERS membership on or after April 1st, 2012, you would be considered a Tier 6 member, and you would participate in a plan called 6310. You'd be eligible for a lifetime pension benefit at the age of 63 with at least 10 years of credited service. Once you establish your NYSERS membership, you can go on our website to establish a My NYSERS account where you can view your activity. Next slide. All right, so once you've established your NYSERS membership, what you should know, in terms of accruing credited service, for Tier 4 members, you need at least 5 years of service credit to be eligible for retirement at a certain age. For Tier 6 members, you need 10 years minimum of service credit. In order to receive 1 full year of service credit, you must have 1,827 hours of paid time. 1827 hours of paid time in order to receive 1 full year of service credit. Once you've established your NYSERS membership, you want to you have your designate your beneficiaries. You can also do that online as well. Make sure you designate all your loved ones as a beneficiary. And for anyone who is close to retirement, I would encourage you to download our brochure 726, 5 at 55 legal checklist. So you have an idea of what documents you should have available once you transition into your retirement. Next slide. All right, so for anyone, whether you are a member or you're close to retirement, if you have any previous service, public service rendered within the state of New York prior to joining NYSERS, you can back that time. That time would include any summer youth employment program service within the state of New York. If you worked for a college aid or work study for a CUNY or SUNY college, you can purchase that time as well, or any other public service within the state of New York prior to joining NYSERS. You buy back that time, you get credit, you get more money. And a general rule for your retirement benefit with NYSERS, the more service credit you have, the more money you get at retirement. I would encourage anyone who is thinking about applying for retirement in the near future to download another brochure that we have on our website called The Road to Your NYSERS Retirement, that breaks down the process from at the first step of coordinating with your agency's benefit coordinator, all the way through finalized retirement benefit. So that's a brochure that we have available as well. Next slide. So just a quick note for anyone who has been a member of NYSERS for years, or you're brand new to NYSERS, or you're thinking about it, we have a lot of features on our website. You can apply for a pension loan on our website, apply for that buyback. You can gain an estimate of your future retirement benefit on our web, or as well as submit your service retirement application. So we have a lot of different features and functions on our NYSERS website at your convenience. And we'll move to the next slide. Just want to make a note for everyone, whether you are a member of NYSERS or you are a non-member of NYSERS, you can download our newly developed NYSERS mobile app. If you have an Android phone or an iPhone, you could download it from that app store. And again, you can use this app for establishing your NYSERS membership or service retirement. So it spans a broad spectrum of services available to you. Next slide. The next slide will show some of the features that we have on our mobile app, like viewing your account balances online, managing your beneficiaries, so you don't have to fill out a form. You can manage your beneficiary designation from your mobile phone, as well as upload documents and submitting your service retirement application or choosing your retirement in order to finalize your pension. So we'll move on to the next slide, and I believe that discusses pension seminars. So at NYSERS, we do conduct seminars. Right now, we are conducting those pension seminars through Zoom. So even though most of us are working from home, we are still able to provide that information to our members and non-members as well. So if you're interested in attending a pension seminar with NYSERS, please contact your agent's benefit coordinator. Next slide. So we have a resource guide available for our NYSERS members. For those non-members, we have the top 10 reasons to join NYSERS. For individuals who are closer to retirement, we have the 5 at 55 legal list and your road to your NYSERS retirement to refer to for the retirement application process. And for everyone, we have a brochure on how to register for a My NYSERS account online. So that is available to you, and Deborah stated earlier, that will be going out to everyone. Next slide. It's our contact information with NYSERS. We have our website, mynysers.org. So if you have any questions about your pension account with NYSERS, you can go on our website and submit that question or inquiry through a service request, and a NYSERS representative will get back to you. We still have call center hours, so we still have representatives waiting to help you out on the phone. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if there's any doc you need to submit to NYSERS, we have a fax number that you can utilize as well, as is our customer service center is still closed indefinitely. So that is my portion of the presentation. And with that, thank you everyone, and I'll throw it back to Deborah.
Thank you all so much. One of the things I just want to let you know, we have over 1,000 people on the line, so there are lots of questions coming in, and we'll do our best to answer those both directly in the chat or question and answer, as well as in the question and answer session. As a reminder, this is a very high overview, because some have talked about we're going fast, and we are. We have a lot of information to pack in this hour, but we wanted to provide an overview of what the process of retirement looks like, and you will be getting oodles of resources and materials for you to follow up, because each of these agencies have anywhere from 1 to 4 hour seminars specifically on their segment, and this is an hour to cover it all. And there are many people from the teachers' retirement system, which we're not going to be speaking to directly today. However, much of the program is directly relatable to you. So let's get to the poll about the key takeaways from Frank's presentation about NYSERS. Okay, again, select the takeaway that's of most interest and relevance to you. A, it's important to join the retirement system early in your career. B, I can buy back time for which I worked for the city but was not a member of NYSERS, or another plan. C, many NYSERS functions can be done online on the My NYSERS account and mobile app. And D, there are many brochures and materials. You can actually click on the screen. I see some are putting it in the chat. Okay, great. Thank you, and I hope you take advantage of the resources. All right, our next step in the process is financial planning and deferred compensation. And so my colleague at the New York City Office of Labor Relations, Dean Weltman, will take us through. Dean? Dean, we can't hear you.
Hello, my name is Dean Weltman. I am the Executive Counsel at the New York City Deferred Compensation Plan. I'm here to talk to you about Deferred Compensation Plan and the Financial Wellness Center. The two things those are the two things that we're going to talk about today. And deferred comp is a retirement savings plan that is presented by the New York City for New York City employees. And it really is the best place for you to save for retirement. When you think about retirement and saving for a secure retirement, you look at usually the three-legged stool. And the three-legged stool, the components of, the first one you heard of, which is the pension. The next, which we'll talk about a little bit, is Social Security. But that third leg of the retirement to have a successful retirement is your own personal savings. And the best place to save for that personal savings is through the New York City Deferred Compensation Plan. Deferred comp has two primary sections. One, it's the 457 401k plan, and the other section is the NICE IRA. The first slide you see here is about the New York City Deferred Comp, which is for active employees and contributing through payroll deductions. So the 457 401k, you've heard of a 401k that's what you would see in the corporate world. The 457 is special to government employees. It's special because when you leave city service, you can begin to take your money out irrespective of the age in which you retire. Normally, the 401k plan, you have to be 59 and a half or older to begin to take distributions without a tax penalty. The 457 for firefighters, police officers, people who retire in their 40s and 50s, they can immediately begin to use this money without any tax penalty. The other important thing about deferred comp is that you can save for retirement on a pre-tax basis and on a Roth basis. So pre-tax is where you save where the taxes come out initially upon your contribution. The Roth contributions are when taxes are taken out right at the moment you actually make the contribution, and then you don't pay any income tax on that money ever again. So there's a real difference. So do you pay your taxes at the beginning, or do you pay your taxes when you actually take the distribution? This works for both the 457 and 401k plan. Remember, these are for active city employees. They allow you to contribute and save for your retirement while you're working for the city. And it's in addition to your pension and your Social Security. Next slide. So I saw some questions about saving. Can I continue to save after I leave city service? Well, yes, you can with the deferred compensation plan. The other component of deferred comp is called a nice IRA. And you've heard of an IRA. And the purpose, the real two purposes of why we put in a nice IRA is to be able to, one, aggregate all of your assets together. So you have money from your deferred comp, maybe money from outside IRAs, maybe money from a previous job. Here, you can bring it all together into the nice IRA and have one place where all of your money is. So you don't have to go take distributions from all different places. Here it is, it's all in one place. The other benefit of having the nice IRA is that you can continue to save for retirement even after you leave city service. Now, the great thing about deferred comp is that it has low investment management fees. Now, that means because we are a $22 billion retirement plan, we actually get very, very low investment management fees. And the importance of that is that the lower the investment management fees, the more money you have in your savings for retirement. So this applies, the nice IRA works the same way as the deferred comp, where it has a pre-tax, the traditional IRA, but also a Roth IRA. Another very, very important benefit of the IRA is that it's available for spouses. Normally you think, well, how can a person who doesn't work for the city take advantage of the city retirement plan? Well, here you can. Your spouse doesn't work for the city, but they can open up a spousal IRA and take advantage of the low-cost investment options that deferred comp and the nice IRA are offering. So this is a wonderful benefit, not only for the employee, but also for their spouse to be able to save for retirement. Next slide. So what I wanted, the very, very important thing about the three-legged stool and about how these components work together is we have this video at deferred comp, which talks about the importance of Social Security, your pension, and the importance of deferred comp and how they all work together to achieve a secure retirement. So we can watch this short video.
We're not getting the sound.
Okay. So if we're having a little technical difficulty with the video, so I'll just take a couple of minutes just to talk about what the video would be telling you. And basically, the video is all about what I initially talked about, the importance of having the three-legged stool, the importance of having your pension, your Social Security, and your deferred comp in place, because each of them has a very particular role. So your pension obviously is going to be that stream of income that you have throughout the remainder of your life and your retirement. And also Social Security, but Social Security, it depends on, as you leave city service and your age, when are you going to take Social
View of
Security?
your finances that will turn this into this. Mention something? Don't worry, your financial planner is there for you. Once your plan is ready, it's time to schedule your in-person consultation, where you'll review your personal financial plan with your planner and get to ask the
Ayana,
questions
I think
you
we
want
need
to
to
ask
stop
about
it.
the topics you want to
You're
discuss.
doing two different things. Yep. Thank you.
So, so with that, but as I said, so Social Security, it's when you take it. But depending on when you take it, you actually may need additional money from that third source of income from your deferred comp to be able to continue to have this secure retirement. And that's where deferred compensation comes in. So it allows you to what we call bridge the gap until your Social Security, because usually Social Security doesn't start, obviously, until you turn 65, or sometimes people choose to take it as late as 70 years of age. But if somebody who retires at 55 or 60, there may be a gap in between. And the beautiful thing about having deferred comp in place is it helps you to bridge that gap between when you get your pension to when then Social Security kicks in. So it's very, very important, looking at the big picture, to think about this three-legged stool, and to have your pension, very important to join NYSERS or join whichever retirement you're going to sing, and be knowledgeable about Social Security. What the end of this video talked about is what I'm going to lead into the next part of our seminar, which is the Financial Wellness Center. And the two components of the Financial Wellness Center is that we offer seminars, which are now webinars, and individual consultations. And these webinars, you can register for these webinars at the New York City Deferred Compensation website, and you can learn about Social Security and Medicare, retirement planning, distribution planning, estate planning, all of these very, very core components of financial planning, and they're presented by a certified financial planner who works for the New York City Deferred Compensation Plan. So they're not trying to sell you anything. They're not trying to make a commission. All they're looking for is the best interest of city employees. So that's a really wonderful component of the Deferred Comp's Financial Planning Wellness Center. So these webinars, you can go to the website and you can register for them. If you could go to the next slide. And there's the other part of the Financial Wellness Center, and I saw some questions about this in the Q&A, is about getting some sort of individual financial assistance. And what that means is getting a financial plan. And really, the beauty of a financial plan is, do you need it when I'm 10 years from retirement, 5 years? It doesn't matter. Everybody needs a financial plan. And the beauty of getting from working with the Financial Wellness Center is that you can get a financial plan, sit down with a certified financial planner professional and get a financial plan and talk with a certified financial planner about the questions that are important to you about your individual circumstances. So we could try to play this video here. So, well, this video, what I wanted to talk about this video was that it was going to explain what a financial plan was and the process for getting a financial plan. And this is, I have to say, being in deferred comp, the absolute best benefit of being in deferred comp. So for the cost of $25, you can actually have the certified financial planner create your own financial plan just for you. So what happens, the process works because obviously we're now in this environment. It can't be done in person, but even now, more than ever, it's extremely important to get an idea of where you are in your financial situation. And the best way to do that is by creating a financial plan. So the process goes is where you would initially call up, you would have a telephone call with the financial planner. They would get all of your financial information. You would have a call with them explaining that. Then they would go and create a financial plan just for you. And then they would set up a consultation. You would sit down, over the phone. They would present the financial plan to you. And then the best part is that you get to ask your particular questions to a certified financial planner professional and get some real educational information for you to make the very difficult decisions. You know, they cross from, you know, when should I stop working? How long should I work? Do I have enough money in retirement based upon that three-legged stool? Will I have enough money? They look at your Social Security, they look at your pension, they look at your deferred comp, and then they help you also with educational information about making good decisions. And, you know, do I have enough money to move to a different part of the country and buy a house that I've always wanted to do? Do I have the money to put my children through college and other things? And all of these kind of questions that are very, very unique to you, you get to sit down with a personal financial planner and get the answers or get the education that you need. And so this is something that is, you know, you can't get from a website, you can't get from a lot of different places, because most of the time, you know, with a financial plan at like another financial institution, they're trying to sell you something. Here at Deferred Comp, there's nobody trying to sell you anything. The only interest is your interest. And that's what Deferred Comp is all about. So the last slide here is about the contact information. If you have questions about Deferred Comp, contributions, loans, distributions, that's the number you should call. If you're interested in webinars and getting an individual consultation, that is the number there to call. And you can go to the website always, where the financial planning website is there. You can register for a webinar. The webinars are great and they're given by certified financial planners. And for information about Deferred Comp, it is there at our website. So with that, I will turn it back to Deb.
Thank you, and sorry about the technical difficulties. Of course, in rehearsal, no problem. So welcome to real life. But all of the videos and the links to the videos will be, again, on the materials that we send out to you in the next couple of days. So our Deferred Comp Plan takeaways. Please select the takeaway that is of most interest and relevance to you. A, take advantage of saving for your retirement with the Deferred Compensation Plan, 457, 401k, NICE IRA, traditional Roth and spousal IRAs. B, register at the Deferred Comp Planning Financial Planning Center, website for webinars on retirement, distribution, Social Security, and Medicare. And C, learn about getting a personal financial plan from a certified financial planner for only $25. Terrific. You're beginning a lot of calls, Dean. Thank you. So next on our map, we will talk about health benefits in retirement. And again, there were a number of calls in there. I welcome Sang Hong, my colleague at OLR. Sang. Sang, we're not hearing you. And just as a reminder, we will be sending all of these slides as well as the recording of the webinar and a resource guide that has links to all of the items that you've seen in the presentation and more, including checklists for both NICERS and OLR. Saying we still can't hear you. Give them one more moment. People are asking for the phone numbers again. We'll be sending them to you, but you can also go to the New York City Office of Labor Relations website and go to the Deferred Comp tab on that page. All right. Well,
Deb, would you like me to speak for him?
Sure, that'd be terrific.
Okay. So I will pinch it just for saying for this. And if you could go to the next slide. Yeah. So what Sang was going to talk about is the very, very important topic of transitioning from your employee to retiree status. And there are some wonderful videos on the Health Benefits website that talk about this and take you through step by step of going through transitioning, because it is a process that you have to do. And the importance of the process is that you actually maintain coverage. Okay, Sang, are you taking over? Okay.
Yeah, now I'm unmuted.
Okay, there you go. Good. Okay.
Thank you.
There you go. Mr. Hong.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, everyone. There's a little glitch. So far, you guys hear about the financial needs at the retirement. Now we have to talk about what you need on your benefits as a retiree. Dean mentioned about our videos. So today, topics that I'm going to go over, all of those topics or the things that I'm going to talk about are on these videos. So I want to make sure that you guys go and visit our website, look at this video. There are 3 videos on our website. The first one is the transitioning from employee to retiree, and that's about what you need to know about Medicare benefits as well as city benefits. Whereas the second video, which is the enrolling retiree health benefits program, either as Medicare eligible or not Medicare. This is more of a process of what you need to do. And then third video that we have is, as a retiree, now you have to pay Medicare Part B reimbursement. Good news is that once you are a retiree, you're in the retiree health benefits program, you are actually going to receive Medicare Part B reimbursement. And this video touches on how to receive your Medicare Part B reimbursement. Next video. Next video, please. Next slide. So one of the things that you need to be aware of is how to become eligible for city benefits. What it is that it depends on how many years that you, previous slide please. It depends on how many years you have with the City of New York. Generally, if you're a NYSERS member, you must have 10 years of credit service in order to be eligible for City Health Benefits Program. So there are different requirements, depends on your pension system. The slide shows some of the examples of that. So please look at our retiree eligibility section on our SPD. That's on page 15. Next slide, please. So now you understand about the requirement in order to receive City Health benefits as a retiree. What do you need to do? What you need to do is you need to submit retiree health benefits application. On this slide, I highlighted some of the main important sections on the health benefits application, A, D, E, F, G, and I. Generally, that is about your information, about your dependents information, about health plans that you're going to select. And that's the section you must complete. In addition, generally, what we need to receive is a letter from your pension system and that you're eligible to receive pension. However, at this time, NYSERS is currently providing us a list of those employees who are going to be retired or in process of retiring. So we will have a date of service from NYSERS. So that document is not required at this time from NYSERS member. And I noticed that there are some of the TRS members in this seminar. Just to let you know, we are working with the TRS to obtain that information, but at this time, we also, something that we need from TRS so that we know that you are eligible for TRS benefit. Once you complete this application, this form is fillable on our website. On our slide that shows the email address that you must submit those complete application via electronically. So please make sure you follow that instruction. And also, I noticed there's a question, how soon shall I submit this application? Generally, if you submit it 3 to 4 weeks prior to retirement, and that should be enough time for us to process your application. Next slide, please. So there are 2 different categories on retirement for health benefits program. I'm going to talk about the Medicare enrollment first. Medicare enrollment is those employees who are over 65 and retired. Their health coverage is now, the Medicare is their primary, and the City Health Benefits Program is their secondary. So ensure that you must sign up for Medicare Part A and Part B so that you have Medicare program as your primary. If you do not submit that on time, there's a penalty. So make sure that you enroll Medicare Part A, Part B, 3 months prior to your retirement. And then there's a pre-Medicare enrollment. What that is, those employees who are eligible to retire prior to 65, now their health coverage is exactly same as if you are an active employee. So you still need to complete the application. However, your coverage will remain the same. And there one question came through, that is, if you're over 65, you still work for the city. What is my primary coverage? If you are actively at work, you are over 65, City Health Benefit is your still primary. So make sure when you go see your provider, tell them your City Health Benefit is your primary, not Medicare. Medicare only comes in the picture when you retire. Third item that I want to talk about, that I briefly mentioned about the reimbursement. So Medicare Part B and IRMA, that is a premium that you pay for Medicare, and you will be able to receive those premiums back to you. And those are generally done annually. And also, in order to receive that, you must submit Medicare Part A, Medicare Part B card to our office. And here's a link about the application of what you need to do. Next slide. So we talked about the health benefits program briefly, but we all know that besides health benefits program, we also receive dental, vision, prescription coverage, maybe life insurance through your unions or welfare fund. I suggest that you contact your union or your welfare fund how to change from your employment status to status as an active retiree, so that you and your eligible dependent will continue to receive your supplemental benefits as a retiree. For example, if you are manager and belongs to Management Benefits Fund, you do not need to do anything. Your agency HR will directly provide us documentation with your retirement date, and we will use that information to process for Management Benefits Fund from active to retiree. So I know it went a little fast, and there were a lot of things to cover, but make sure you visit our website, look at our SPD, look at our videos, look at our FAQ. All this information should be on our website. Thank you so much. Deb, you want to take it over?
I do, real quick. So your key takeaways around health benefits. Let's see the poll. Okay, it's important to review your eligibility for retiree health benefits. B, retiree applications can be submitted online. C, reimbursement is available for supplemental Medicare Part B programs. D, to ensure continuation of supplemental benefits, it's important to touch base with my union welfare fund when I retire. Or E, there are many videos which help me understand the process. Okay, great. All over the map. So now it's my pleasure to introduce our final speaker, who represents one of the best practices in the city of how an agency supports their employees, Leon Majimoto from DFTA.
Good afternoon, Deb, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Leon Majimoto, and I serve as the Deputy Director of Human Resources in the Office of Human Resources at the New York City Department for the Aging. As a city employee, you have decided it's time to retire. Today's webinar is filled with valuable information and resources. Do not worry, the retirement process is not as daunting, and I reassure you each step of the process is very simple. And I'll walk you through the process that we do at the Department for the Aging to help our employees work towards retirement and successfully complete the retirement process. Next slide, please. Our agency roadmap is a simple retirement process. This slide displays a roadmap with stop points informing and advising what needs to be done as one navigates through the map towards retirement. Prospective retirees receive all the necessary forms, brochures, information necessary for retirement. A retirement comprehensive packet they will receive a retirement comprehensive packet, which includes the following: brochures, health benefit application, health rate charts, welfare summary benefits, retirement forms necessary to submit to OLR and NYSERS, retirement checklists, and FAQs. So everything that was mentioned for deferred compensation, health benefits, NYSERS, it's all included in the comprehensive retirement packet. There are a few considerations when meeting with our retirement coordinator, and that is to determine the separation date from the agency or the last day work. And when is the planned effective retirement date? The effective date may differ from the last day work, and it depends on several factors. Sang had mentioned non-managerial and managerial employees. Non-managers are eligible to receive their leave balances, which is annual leave and terminal leave. For managers, a manager lump sum payment is required, and that takes additional time. Please note your separation date and retirement date are important dates for seamless transition from city payroll to retiree benefits. Determining your health benefit coverage, we recommend our employees to consult with OLR's website and also attend the webinars and seminars when they're available. There are two distinctive categories for retiree health benefits. And Sang had mentioned again, Medicare, non-Medicare and Medicare retirees. During the coronavirus pandemic, we have relied heavily on technology, and majority of our forms are uploaded through the OLR and NYSERS technology platforms. And it is a secured method to upload and send forms to both respective agencies. Next slide, please. Our employees receive a detailed checklist of the entire retirement process. And the checklist includes an employee number, pension number, city and agency start dates. It has all the NYSERS information, contact information for NYSERS, labor relations, the management welfare funds, unions, municipal credit union, transit checks, and also a summary of what to do when you're ready for retirement in terms of submitting a retirement letter or returning agency property. Next slide, please. As I mentioned before previously, our employees are recommended to meet with our timekeeping unit, and we will supply a letter stating the last day work and the official retirement date. This letter can be taken to NYSERS or sent to NYSERS for the retirement process. NYSERS will issue a NYSERS retirement receipt once the retirement has been completed and the official retirement date has been established. The NYSERS retirement receipt is Form F541. We require a copy of that in order to accompany it with the health benefit application. That form is a confirmation that you are officially in the retirement process with the effective date, and it will also certify your health benefits that we need to send to Office of Labor Relations. The retirement process is important, and it's our priority at the Department for the Aging to ensure that our employees receive accurate information and the process is seamless from the beginning towards the end. We encourage you to ask questions, communicate with our HR retirement coordinator so that your retirement is a seamless process. Congratulations to all of our prospective retirees. The retirement process is simple. The best days and happiness are in your future. And as Toby mentioned earlier, retirement is a gift. Open your gift and enjoy. Thank you, Deb.
Thanks so much, Leon, and to all of our presenters. I know we have about 5 minutes left, and there's a couple of questions that came up a number of times. So Anna, do you want to share the questions? The first question.
Hi, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we've been getting a number of questions, and one of them is for people who have been part of multiple pension systems throughout their career, how does that affect their pension when they prepare to retire?
So I guess I'll go ahead and answer that question. Again, my name is Frank. I'm with NYSERS. So for anyone who has credited service with multiple pension systems within the state of New York, it is possible to collect separate benefits from different retirement systems. It is suggested and encouraged that you transfer any previous membership to your current retirement system so that you can gain greater benefit at retirement. If you have separate pension benefits or separate retirement systems or accredited service, that can give you smaller benefits. You can do that, but it is suggested that you try to transfer that service, combine it, so that gives you a greater benefit in terms of a dollar amount to you at your retirement eligibility.
Next question.
Thanks, Frank. And we have another question about early retirement incentives. Can you speak a little bit to that, Frank?
Yeah, sure. So, you know, NYCERS as well, I'm sure a lot of other agencies getting this question. So the early retirement incentive bill, it's still with the New York State Legislature. Nothing has been passed yet. The governor has not been any bill creating that early retirement incentive. NYCERS is closely watching that bill go through the state legislature, and you can follow the process and the progress of that bill on our website at nicers.org. We'll have all updates for that bill.
Take one more question.
And we have one question about part-time work. How does that affect pension eligibility and ability to access health benefits coverage in retirement?
Okay, so I'll answer the first portion of that question. So with part-time service, like I stated earlier, in order to receive 1 full year of service credit as a member of NYCERS, you must have 1,827 hours, regardless if you're part-time or full-time. So depending on your job schedule and depending on how many hours you get during the week, in order to receive 1 full year of service credit, you must have 1,827 hours of paid time.
And
Sang,
hi,
can you
this is Sang. Hi, this is Sang from Employee Health Benefits Program. As for the health benefits program, as long as you meet the requirement of what I mentioned previously and eligible to receive city pension system, then you are eligible to receive city health benefits program.
Okay, thank you. If we can go to the next slide and the slide after that. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank our participants, our speakers. I want to thank Ayana Mbano, Anna Tan, Kamika Randall, Victoria Good, all the people behind the scenes making this session flow. As I said, we will be mailing out the PowerPoint, the recording of this session, the links to all of the resources you saw, as well as checklists for both NYCERS and employee health benefits that we feel would be very helpful to you. Before you jump off, I just want to remind you that September is coming up. That is our September walking challenge that we hope you'll join. We'll also be launching a digital diabetes prevention program in September. Next slide. And we have a digital hypertension program that's also going to be coming. If you'd like to be on our mailing list so you can learn, be the first to learn about upcoming programs, we will also be sending you the link for that as well. Before you leave us, we would love to get one last poll to see whether this event met your interests. So if you can put the poll up. And we also recognize there are many questions we didn't get to, but hopefully we'll point you to the resources where you can find it. So please let us know your agreement with the following. This webinar increased my overall knowledge about this topic. Strongly agree, somewhat disagree, or strongly disagree. Thank you. Okay, response. All right, terrific. So it seems like for the vast majority of you, over 97%, we increased your knowledge, and with the additional resources we'll be sending in the next couple of days, you'll have the direct links to the videos that were shown or not shown on today's webinar. You will also have email addresses, phone numbers, websites, and some reading materials that will help you through this very exciting time of planning for retirement. So with that, I thank you all very much, and I wish you a cool day. All right, take care, and thank you again to our panelists. Bye-bye.